That's the problem there. A little more ambition, a little less of you. Hey, Miranda.
Oh, Phoenix! Hey, yo.
Why should you visit thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com is your home for hard-hitting reviews, news, opinion, and analysis with attitude. Why? Because you're smarter than the average fan. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
I'd actually like to take this opportunity to wish
Greg DeMarco Show
the best in all his future endeavors.
What is up? A very happy Wednesday morning to you. This is the Babyface Heel Podcast because there's two sides to every storyline. I am the heel. Patrick O'Dowd is the babyface, and Miranda Morales is stuck in the middle, forced to be the referee, the peacekeeper, the tweener, and free to choose sides as she wishes. Of course, this show, among any others, is part of the Chairshot Radio Network, which you can find at thechairshot.com.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
You can also find thechairshot.com on social media at Chairshot Media. It's not just a wrestling site. It's not just a website at all. It's a movement. And it's a movement of sports, entertainment, and sports entertainment. All found at thechairshot.com.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
This show and all the others involved in the Chairshot Radio Network are also streaming on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, and so many more. So head on over there, like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review for all of your favorite content, including the Babyface Heel Podcast over at your favorite podcast streaming platform. And be a friend, tell a friend, let them check it out. Tell you what they think of it, and yeah, you can have a little conversation around a pro wrestling podcast, because why not do that? Not always a pro wrestling podcast. Occasionally we veer off. Today we're not. Today we're talking about wrestling. I'm Greg DeMarco. I am, I guess, the host of the show. There's really three of us, and you know, somebody's got to drive, but sometimes the kids arguing in the back are far more entertaining than the person driving. You can follow me on social media at ChairshotGreg. That's the Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram. If you go on Facebook, you'll see a lot of wrestling content, especially about IZW wrestling, especially this week. If you go on Twitter, you'll see me making fun of somebody's idiotic take on pro wrestling. And if you go on Instagram, you'll probably see me lifting weights right now, because that's been at least today. Those have been the posts. So go ahead on over and do that. Lots of fun. I already said it. I don't do the show alone because that wouldn't be any fun. You know and love him. He's been here since day one-ish as we approach the 10-year mark of us doing this crazy thing called podcasting. He's on the other side of the country, might as well be the other side of the world, especially in the COVID era. You can follow him on the Twitter at Wrestling Realist. That's WRESTLNGREALIST. You can follow him on Instagram at some handle that no one would ever remember, so I'm not going to tell you. He is the Wrestling Realist, Patrick O'Dowd.
So...
We're behind. You can also find the other co-hosts on social media at the hash.
Because I'm using the Danger Zone card today. I'm using it today.
Are you serious? Are you really going to use the Danger? Are you really going to use?
I'm going to make you listen to me talk about basketball for 2 minutes. Get Miranda on the show, and then
first of all, I never said the Danger Zone card carried over from the Greg DeMarco Show to the Babyface Heel Podcast.
What?
We have not mentioned the Danger Zone card once since this new format was introduced. Because this new format is all about time, Patrick O'Dowd. This new format is all about, no, I'm just kidding. The other voice you hear is that of the Queen of Soft Style herself, ring announcer to the stars. She is on Instagram. She is on Facebook. She is not on Twitter. She's a Twitterless heroine. At the hashtag Miranda. Hashtag is spelled out for Miranda Morales.
Hello, Patrick. Hello, Gregory.
Apparently, I'm not allowed to let you talk because Patrick has to play a card on the show that we start 15, 17 minutes late, and he feels the need to play his card. Mine!
Yeah.
Absolutely my fault.
Your fault. Exactly. And because it's your fault, there you go. Play the music for a little bit because it's Tuesday when we're recording this show. And
would you wait for the soundbite to finish? Just wait.
No. I'm ready to go. I am amped. I'm too amped.
All right, Patrick, get out. I got music playing underneath you. Patrick, shut up. You need to let me set this up. Otherwise, I'm not going to let you do it. Go. Okay.
Fine.
You've played your Danger Zone card. The song lasts for 2 minutes and 57 seconds.
That's too long.
Talk about basketball.
So here we go as we record on Tuesday. Greg, by virtue of you being late, I got to watch my beloved University of Illinois Fighting Illini, the number 4 ranked team in the country, paced the number 2 ranked team in the country, Michigan State. We are working our way into a 1 seed. I love all that is sports. Basketball is the greatest thing in the whole world today. And it is, I'm so amped and so happy to see my team beat this. We were 8.5-point underdogs. We were without our All-American best point guard, one of the best point guards in the nation. And we smoked them. We smoked them on their home floor. We stomped and celebrated in their locker room. The video is beautiful, and I fucking love every second of the game, the post game. I've recorded it. I'm going to watch it repeatedly. It's the type of game that's so great. I will watch Sports Center 8 times tonight. I'm not going to bed. I got to get up at 5 a.m. to go to work. I don't fucking care. I'm going to be dead tired, but you know what? It's going to be great because sports. I love sports. All the sports.
Sports.
Miranda, thoughts on the University of Illinois basketball team? Greg, thoughts on the University of Illinois basketball team's mega victory?
I don't even care.
Awesome!
Okay.
There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I just want you to know that.
I love
Yellow fever.
Nice. Wow.
That is the greatest show so far today. I love it.
So far today, yeah.
So far,
today.
That's some other great moments in his life.
Patrick, you have yellow fever.
I do.
Oh, hello, how are you?
Oh, that's just dirty.
I beat myself. I was laughing so much at that.
That's so much like our relationship, Greg, right there.
That horrible soundbite you just heard, that horrible quality, audio quality, Blog Talk Radio soundbite you just heard, was none other than the undead bride herself, Sue Young, throwing Patrick O'Dowd's love for Asians in his face during probably, 9 years ago edition of the Greg DeMarco Show. Not quite 9 years ago.
That was quite a show.
Yeah, it was quite a show. And she kept coming back every week for like 2 years. So, yep, and now, yeah. Are you good now?
I'm good. I needed to get that off my chest.
Okay.
I love how his victory lap was just him going in a circle in his chair
and disappearing into his background.
Victory lap.
If it was video, it'd be hilarious because you disappear when you turn around.
Yeah,
only like parts of you.
Well, we talked about that on Bandwagon Nerds.
I don't care
because Dave disappeared.
Yes, it is indeed time for you to go to ProWrestlingTees.com/The Chairshot, where you can get your very own Chairshot t-shirt. And Now there is a special running through March 8th where you can get 20% off your order using the code MADNESS. Yes, MADNESS is the code to get 20% off your entire order. And if you go to ProWrestlingTees.com/TheChairShot, you'll find a variety of shirts all in support of TheChairShot.com. And so, well, what do those look like? You have the OG Chairshot logo, you have the Chairshot Worldwide shirt, of course, #journalism, multiple always use your head t-shirts, of course, the unofficial official t-shirt of the one Patrick O'Dowd, #Save Tag Team Wrestling, the Queen of Soft Style shirt, and Everybody Hates Greg. So please go to ProWrestlingTees.com/TheChairShot to pick up your t-shirt, and you can use the promo code MADNESS to get 20% off your order.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey folks, PC Tony here. Thanks to our new partnership with Angry Lemonade, you can save 10% on physical products and digital commissions using the promo code ChairShot. Head to angrylemonade.net to check out their amazing catalog of products and services. Use the promo code ChairShot to save 10%. That's angrylemonade.net.
All right. Wait, before I read the intro, Patrick O'Dowd, do me a favor and Miranda Morales, do me a favor and make sure you're looking at your rundown. Read for me the title of this segment.
The title of this segment is Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch.
Patrick O'Dowd, read for me the title of this segment.
I should open the show then.
Fuck, yes, you should. It was just said for you, so if you were listening.
I know, but I was being an asshole.
I know.
Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch.
Yes, I know. You picked this week, yes. Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. This is actually the perfect topic for you to be that asshole. All Elite Wrestling is headed. I'm going to read the intro that I wrote now. All Elite Wrestling is headed to there because I do that. I write the intros just to let everybody know, and that it makes my life go better. All Elite Wrestling is headed to their next pay-per-view, Revolution, this weekend. They're first on a Sunday, and the main event is an Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega defends his title in said match against Jon Moxley.
Dean fucking Ambrose.
Thoughts on this hot garbage shit pile? Patrick O'Dowd, we'll start with you.
Well, what's funny for me is that I didn't immediately, I reacted to the match news with the same sort of eye roll and sigh that you gave. But what really set me off is just, and we've talked about this before, AEW fans, at least on the social media, are the worst. And talking about this match as if this is somehow wrestling gold that we all deserve to see and is some sort of special treat that is going to change our lives forever, instead of what has always been traditionally just a gross, gory blood fest in Japan that like 4 people like, but today we do. But today, because it's AEW and it's Moxley and Kenny Omega, we're like, this is going to be amazing. It's so terrific and all. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. And fans, you need to learn how to admit when your product does something stupid. If you listen to our podcast, we will tell you when the WWE does something stupid. Hell, one of my favorite angles has started to turn stupid over in the WWE. Because I'm sorry, I got some real Hulk Hogan looking in the mirror vibes of the Ultimate Warrior with Randy Orton this week on the TV screen. And that's kind of stupid. An exploding barbed wire death match in what was supposed to be, when at least the way it was introduced to me, was this like pure wrestling, wonderful utopia of greatness that we would just mat classics left and right. And you're now giving us an exploding barbed wire death match. And I'm sure it's about the story and it's great, but you're wrong and you're stupid. And this is stupid. And if these two guys aren't good enough to do a good blow off without an exploding barbed wire death match, then what are you really doing?
And the thing is, they already had the barbed wire involved in their first match, which, main evented a pay-per-view over the World Championship. And
now it's exploding.
Now it's exploding. I don't know if you guys have ever actually seen the exploding barbed wire death match from Japan. It's so bad. And I hope, look, they better be authentic in their exploding barbed wire death match. Like, I want the bombs to go off at set intervals. And I want the wrestlers, the referee, and all the ringside attendants to go flying, but the fans sitting 2 feet away, because there'll be some in the front row, I'm sure, it might be wrestlers, to not move, despite the fact. So the shocks from these bombs somehow are not strong enough to get past the flimsy guardrail, but are enough to knock large human beings over onto their ass. Because if I don't have that, now, granted, I'm not going to watch it, so I don't even know. I'll see the highlights. But if I don't have that, then I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed. Pro wrestling as a sport, Patrick. That's what they wanted to present in AEW. Pro wrestling as a sport. Little did we know that the sport was Most Extreme Elimination Challenge from Japan and not pro wrestling as an actual sport. True. Miranda Morales, just rescue us.
I don't, there's not a whole lot of rescuing I could do. There's really, like, I don't even care. Like, I just don't care. Nothing about this makes me care about it at all. I've just been so fairly disengaged with this particular program. A lot of things in AEW, to be honest. I just haven't been very well connected with this product in quite some time. And, you did mention, I think both of you and Patrick, a blow-off match, because it does seem like this is going to be the blow-off for a while, but it is at a grand level. I do feel like it goes back to, pro wrestling is a sport, but I feel like especially someone like Kenny Omega, looks at it as an art form. And that this to them is a way, some kind of fucked up art form though, but they view it as, an expression of what wrestling can be and one of the interpretations of wrestling. And so I feel like that's also why AEW does what it does, whether it's, copying WCW, which it does all the fucking time, or takes all these different concepts from other parts of the world, which in theory sound great because you are then bringing in different forms of wrestling into American audience. But this is one where I feel like they're being too artistic for their own good, quote unquote artistic, or they're doing it for the art form. When in reality, it's not necessary for this program. It's not necessary for this pay-per-view, and it's not necessary for this company. So I really am so apathetic to it that I will probably be in that same tone of Greg, where I'll watch the highlights and see what comes of it just out of curiosity. But this would not make me want to buy Revolution at all.
You won't go to a Cinemark theater to catch it?
No.
Nah, I'm good.
I did just for giggles. I did look up, and there is not one near me in New England.
It's too bad. It's really
Darn.
too bad.
I was crushed because I wanted to spend $20.
The only thing I would disagree with you on there, Miranda, is the fact that this is exactly what this company should be doing, because it's their fans. Like, their fans eat this crap up. Now, it's the same fans that would watch it even if they didn't do an Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. I don't think an Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch is going to draw anybody else to the show that wasn't already going to watch. But it's because this is what Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley want to do. And I've said it a million times before, and I'll say it again. This is a vanity project. This whole Impact angle that led to the Forbidden Door is Kenny Omega's vanity project. The whole reason Impact Wrestling reactivated the TNA World Heavyweight Championship was so that Rich Swann could win it from Moose, and Kenny Omega can win 2 belts when he beats Rich Swann, not 1, because Kenny Omega wants 10 belts instead of 9 so he can have more than Ultimo Dragon. Like, that's where that's headed, and it's all because Kenny is a mark for belts, because Kenny is a mark for Kenny, because Kenny is a mark. And that's why we're having an Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. There's one thing that would have made this Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch a little bit more palatable for me. And maybe it's because of what I just came through this weekend. I don't know. If it was a non-title match, I would have just a little bit more respect for it. I think it's stupid to put your world title on the line in an Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. And I think if you said the title is not on the line and this is just 2 guys doing this to settle the score, I would have a little bit more respect. Patrick, would that change anything for you?
Maybe. I don't know. Not really. I can't even say yes. Like, I can't even pretend like maybe it would make me a little. First of all, because you know me as a fan, and this is not my cup of tea as a wrestling fan in general. Like, in my old age, I've really gotten away from these sorts of matches. Like in hindsight, I used to love the Mick Foley Undertaker Hell in a Cell match from King of the Ring. Today, I can't watch it because it disturbs me because of just the inherent risk involved. And I'm sure the risk is minimal here, but I thought I say that, but who knows? And so the match itself immediately turns me off. But the thing, and this is kind of a greater problem, and I love that you talked about a vanity project again, because it's not just this match. Like, there's nothing that's going on right now in AEW where I'm like, this is compelling. I don't need to see Tully Blanchard wrestle again, for example. Like, I don't. The only person who needs to see Tully Blanchard wrestle again is Tully Blanchard.
Probably not Tully Blanchard, to be honest. I'm gonna stop you right there and actually disagree with you. We loved watching Bobby Heenan wrestle when he was manager and get the shit kicked out of him because he was a Weasley heel manager, just like Tully Blanchard is. And I think that's why they're doing it, even though Tully Blanchard's not Bobby Heenan. But that's why they're doing that.
Yeah, it's
and maybe 40-year-old me watching the WWE when I was 12, would I don't know, like 40-year-old me watching old 80s WWE, I'd probably it holds a certain bit of nostalgia. And maybe that's just it. Maybe the nostalgia doesn't grab me anymore. Like Jake the Snake doesn't grab me anymore. Arn Anderson doesn't grab me anymore. Shivani, JR, Sting, like all of these guys. Like I want to see.
All these people in this revolutionary, cutting-edge, progressive company, AEW.
Right. And because it's not like there's not talent there that I wouldn't want to see, outside of my feelings about the Young Bucks and my feelings about Cody, which I actually loved Cody until he took a hammer to a throne and then tried to say it wasn't about Triple H. Like, right? Like, am I right?
That's such an ex-girlfriend thing to do. Like, look, let me just tell you a little bit about crazy ex-girlfriends. We would pull that kind of shit and be like, oh, I have nothing to do with him. I just felt like I needed to send a message or liberate myself. It's like, no, that's a crazy ex-girlfriend thing to do. You sent a message.
And I would respect it more if he owned it. If he was like, that's absolutely what I did. But no.
Own your crazy, Cody. Own your crazy.
He won't own his crazy because that'd be admitting that he's crazy. And him and Brandy are crazy and all of that.
And then you complicate that with the fan base and the folks that sorry, I'm not going to name the tweeter, but the person who tweets every fucking Wednesday. How is it that what's the name of the show?
Dynamite
on Wednesday nights?
Again, Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. Dynamite. They love explosions in this company.
How is it that every this week's Dynamite is the greatest Dynamite of all time? Like, why are you tweeting?
Because it's this week's Dynamite, Patrick O'Dowd. That's why.
Yes.
You know how the internet works. No,
I know, but it's just fucking stupid.
You're asking the unanswerable question. Stupid. Yeah, it is
anyway,
stupid.
I'm sorry. I'm dominating this conversation. I should stop.
That's okay. It's fine. You're good. I don't even know where to go. This is stupid. Yeah. This is idiotic. It doesn't. But okay. Tony Khan was just voted Booker and Promoter of the Year by the readers of the Wrestling Observer newsletter.
I'm surprised you have not gone in deep in that whole Wrestling Observer newsletter awards, because that's
I know why you want me to go deep into it. I know exactly why you want me to go deep into it, and I understand why.
Fuck you, Pat.
But I'm not as a topic on this show. Look, Patrick O'Dowd doesn't even know why. Patrick O'Dowd, Pat McAfee was the Rookie of the Year for the Wrestling Observer.
No, I know. It's the quote says "fuck you, Pat." So still going.
But you know where it comes from. It's Adam Cole yelling at Pat McAfee.
Fuck you, Pat.
That's.
And yet, I feel targeted.
Do you?
A little.
Do you really?
I do.
Awesome! I came to.
All right.
I did come to Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, you did. Who doesn't? I mean, really,
yeah.
Who doesn't?
So
you know who doesn't? Kyle O'Reilly.
I made it weird, didn't I?
Go, Kyle.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
That's for all of us Undisputed Era fans. Anyway, yeah, I got nothing. Really, this is just terrible.
Yeah.
This is horrible. And yeah, Tony Khan's a Booker and Promoter of the Year, ending the 2-year run of Gato in New Japan. So yeah, that's far be it from us to ever give anybody in WWE any credit.
How legitimate is the listenership and the readership? How far spread is the Wrestling Observer.
Well, I know
Like these-
Pat McAfee
like-
won the Rookie of the Year. He got 300 votes.
So that tells you all you need to know.
I was gonna
about
say,
this
does this constitute a cult? Like, I feel like,
Yeah.
I do feel like there's enough.
It's very cultish, cliquish. Oh yeah, it is. And here's the thing that, because it also came out, there's a post out there somewhere. I didn't save it, but in 2 years, Dave Meltzer has given more 5-star match ratings than he's given to WWE in their entire existence.
Right.
And he has given 0 to WWE matches featuring Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, all his favorites, and Finn Balor. Like, literally, apparently, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart was not good enough. Apparently, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, not good enough. Like, but if it happened in AEW or in the Tokyo Dome or both, oh my God, could you imagine if AEW were in the Tokyo Dome? Like, there's not enough.
Damn.
There's not enough. He would literally wear out the shift key and the number 8 on his keyboard. And yes, I looked down to make sure before I said it, trying to give it stars. And here's the other thing: this exploding barbed wire death crap is going to get at least 4 stars. At least,
right?
Probably 4.5.
You went all Bruce Pritchard there, by the way.
Did I?
You went all Bruce. Yeah, Bruce Pritchard talks about that all the time. It
I
wasn't in the
have to
fucking
listen to those
Tokyo
shows.
Dome, so it wasn't me 9 stars.
I stopped listening to those shows because I stopped commuting. So, yeah.
Well, in Miranda, you brought up this the level of delusion that really surrounds Dave Meltzer is something special. He tweeted that the last what was it? The last 20 bookers of the year were all influenced by him.
The last winners of the 20, the last winners of the Bookers of the Year of 20 year, including Dana White, by the way, because he's won that award. We're all influenced in some form by him. That's something he said. I will give Dave Meltzer this bit of credit. He will openly tell you the star ratings are just simply his opinion. Like, they're not meant to be fact.
Yeah.
He owns that, and his fan base. It's not even really his fault. Now, some of it's his fault because he makes up crap and he believes his own hype. But really, it's everybody else who bought in and started reporting on it that ruined it for the rest of us sane people. So it's just is there anything we can do to salvage the the exploding barbed wire death match? Miranda, is there anything we can do to salvage this?
I mean, I think if there's actually good wrestling in this match, and I think looking at how the barbed wire and the exploding is utilized, and maybe if it's a little bit more sparing or more intentional, that could help salvage it. And if there is a focus on good wrestling, I think that maybe that's the best happy medium. What does that look like? I'm not entirely sure. But if everything's just exploding shit all throughout the match and there's a gratuitous amount of blood and barbed wire, then I think that it's too much. But that's the only thing I could think of.
I've got it. Bell rings. They lock up. From the crowd, out comes on one side of the ring.
Oh boy,
Terry Funk. From the other side of the ring, Mick Foley. They come into the ring. They take out Omega and Moxley, and then they have the barbed wire death match. And we watch 2 really old guys beat the shit out of each other. And the AEW marks will love it and call it revolutionary and a revival of the career. But those are the 2 guys I want to see in that match, right? Like, those are the 2 types of guys.
Not in 2021, you don't. No, but that's the thing. Like,
it's because you're just gonna flop around and explode. Like that, they can flop around and explode.
I want to. If they did what you just said, Miranda, I'd be very disappointed. Because if you're gonna go exploding barbed wire death match, go exploding barbed wire death match. Like, you're already stupid.
Well, at this point, like you wanted like something to actually explode, like someone's arm to get exploded off. Like,
there's gonna be explosions.
Is the name of the match. Can somebody die? Can we cart somebody out?
Oh yeah, I mean, do kind of Lucha Underground. No. Think about Lucha Underground. Like they actually were able to pull off people dying and coming back.
Miranda, you go check the Greg DeMarco Show archives. I might have been highly critical of killing a dude. on Lucha Underground.
Well, of course you would criticize Lucha Underground because you don't know how to have fun, you know? Like
that's not true. I liked some of Lucha Underground.
I know what could save the Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch.
Cancel it.
To stop talking about it.
This is your boy Kenny Killer telling you to make sure you check out thechairshot.com, bringing you breaking news, interviews, podcasts galore, everything pro wrestling. Make sure you check it out, thechairshot.com.
Dean fucking Ambrose.
The Babyface Heel of the Week is our time to take a look at one of wrestling's most famous or infamous personalities from yesterday or today and decide how they were better, as a babyface or as a heel. This week's Babyface Heel of the Week is former WWE and AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, better known to most as
Dean fucking Ambrose.
Babyface or heel for Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, Dean, John, Moxley, Ambrose, John, Dean, Ambrose, Miranda. Thoughts, decisions.
Man, I would say that going and looking back at, his career in WWE and his time with the Shield, man, this is kind of fucking hard because I think his heel work in the Shield was phenomenal. Like when you look at the early Shield and what they were, he was really the mouthpiece. He was the one that fans thought he was going to branch out and be the star of that. And I think it was when they were, the best work was as heels. When they became faces, yes, of course, they became more popular and it was still good. But when you get to the end of his career in WWE, when he was on his own as a heel, that was crap. And so that kind of convolutes some of that heel work in the beginning. And then, of course, in AEW, he's been all face. I think there's merit to his work as a face. And he's very much of that anti-hero. And that's been some of his best work. But honestly, my preference is like original early Shield heel Ambrose. That's the ticket. That's the money. That is what I feel like is his best work.
Patrick?
So hard because he's been such a straddling, like kind of straddle the line sort of character for a long time. He's been this interesting amalgamation as a face of Brian Pillman, Roddy Piper, loose cannonies sort of a character, and that's enjoyable outside of a sort of a really unfortunate feud in the WWE with Bray Wyatt and now apparently exploding barbed wire death matches. But at the end of the day, I think I agree with Miranda in that I think my favorite iteration of Dean Ambrose has been Shield, leader of the Shield, kind of quote unquote leader of the Shield, Dean Ambrose, the mouthpiece when that group first formed, and was much more of a seething sort of Jake Roberts sort of style of promo that really like kind of drove that trio when they debuted, and and all three of them have gone on to huge things. So yeah, I think when I think of Dean Ambrose and when we started and I know the Dean fucking Ambrose thing came when he started doing the crazy stuff and was kind of on his own and went nuts after Rollins turned on them. But for me, it's still, his initial debut with the WWE as the leader of the Shield.
You're goddamn right.
Dean
we do agree on occasion.
Fucking Ambrose.
So I'm gonna like we've agreed a lot lately. I'm totally disagreeing with you guys, but I'm doing it from and the reason why I'm hesitant is because the perspective I'm doing it from. But this is our show, and at least I have a little bit of credibility to do this. I'm doing it from a fantasy booking perspective, and I do so as I mean, let's be honest.
So
one of the best bookers in North America. Yes, this is what could have been. You're exactly right, and that's what we can do on this show sometimes, especially in this topic. Everyone, when he split off when the Shield split off, he was kind of pigeonholed in a lot of fans' eyes as this Mick Foley-esque character, and they thought he should be the next Mick Foley. And I was the one screaming from the mountaintops that he should have been the next evolution of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He should be doing today what Kevin Owens is doing today. And I actually think he would do it better than Kevin Owens is doing it right now. And to me, if he was that, I think that lunatic fringe combined with, imagine him feuding with an authority figure. People would have gotten behind that, so far behind that. And of course, he couldn't get out of his own way in dealing with WWE Creative. But to me, that he needed to be the babyface anti-hero Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think had they done that with him, there's a chance. Now, I say that with all due respect to my and your tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Had he been the anti-hero Stone Cold Steve Austin, he might have been able to be the most successful of the three members of the Shield. But instead, he had to go get the boo-boo face and not like the booking and leave and go do, Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. But I am on the babyface side of things because that's what he would have to be to pull off that character as a babyface. So the answer for everybody is still the heel because Patrick and Miranda both went heel. I went babyface. Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. That is your babyface heel of the week.
All right, gentlemen, you have 3 minutes, and you better make it good.
We got 3 minutes and we're out of here. The clock is ticking and we're in the clear. We got 3 minutes and we're out of here. We got 3 minutes and we're out.
I'm calling it audible. I'm not discussing what's on your rundown. I'm sure neither of you pulled up the article and looked at it anyway. So, calling it.
Oh, that's condescending. Yeah.
You didn't even have it open.
I just did it while you were talking.
What was the article again?
It doesn't matter because I'm not doing it. I'm doing something related to it, but a little bit different because I just saw this headline on my phone. And the headline is from Bleacher Report. I'll give credit where credit is due, and I'm using the term credit very loosely in what I'm about to say. Here's the headline. This is the kind of stuff Patrick O'Dowd loves. This is the borderline bullshit, right? Oh. WWE reportedly moving NXT to Tuesdays amid ratings battle with AEW. That's the headline. Let me read it again, uninterrupted. WWE reportedly moving NXT to Tuesdays amid ratings battle with AEW. Patrick, this is your thing.
They gave up, Greg. They gave up. They couldn't handle AEW.
The war's over.
It was too much. The war is over.
The war is over.
AEW has declared victory.
The war is over.
Or there's some other reason that probably makes a lot more financial sense to the WWE and their new relationship with Peacock. But
no, the reason is the thing you spend 90 minutes talking about every Sunday on Chairshot Radio. It's hockey. They're not moving that has anything to do with AEW. Not one bit. And what's funny is that
30 minutes talking about hockey, you wise ass. I've never had a 90-minute Chairshot Radio podcast.
Yes, you have.
No, that's only because Robinette got tacked onto the end of the fucking show. You do not get to tag me with that 90-minute
That might be true, actually.
You can call it Bandwagon Nerds all you want, and it's 2.5 hour long show.
2 90-minute shows. Yeah.
But you cannot hang Chairshot Radio on me. I ain't gonna do that.
Okay, fine, whatever. Either way.
Damn, coming in hot.
I know. It's the Patrick O'Dowd Show with Patrick O'Dowd and Greg DeMarco all over again, except way better than it was 9 years ago. Seriously, though, it has everything to do with hockey because on NBC Sports, Wednesday night was hockey night, and now it's probably going to move to USA, which is perfectly fine, and NXT can move to Tuesdays. But, of course, in the comments of the articles that you see in other places, all the comments are about AEW won. AEW won. The ratings war against the third-tier WWE brand. That's what it is. And now they're claiming the new war is between NXT and AEW Dark, which is, just hilarious. Mind you, NXT probably outperforms AEW when you factor in the WWE Network ratings, but nobody wants to do that. Mind you, the original article that I was having you guys look at, which, by the way, talks about WWE's ratings all over the world where, they're literally exceeding, 3 million viewers in India for SmackDown. NXT has over 1 million viewers in India for that show. Raw has average viewership is over 4 million viewers in India. And in fact, SmackDown averages 5.2 million viewers between India, South Africa, Italy, Canada, Germany, and South Korea during the first month of 2021. And Raw has had 5.9 million viewers. That's not even counting the U.S. viewers. So
it's a sinking ship, man. It's a sinking ship.
It is. It's
stop.
It's terrible. And
stop trying to protect it. I'll be really interested to see what their Wednesday number is, though. Just to see, like, do they take those NXT viewers on? Mm-hmm. Is it really what we think, and it's a lot of flipping back and forth between two shows? I think that I do think that's intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I think it's just it's a mid. Like, I feel like going back to the headlines, it's do you understand basic vocabulary and how it's composed and how sentences are composed? Because
they absolutely
someone
do.
who's just no, I'm just saying as a reader, I think that the websites, the news sources absolutely do, because you use some kind of vague, loose, even almost in this word considered a
misleading
big word. Misleading, to mislead.
It's clickbait.
Clickbait. But in reality, when you understand the term amid, I mean, it technically is kind of the right word to use, but it's not. The way that they use it is one that is meant to, get viewership. And so it can't, someone can't come at them and say, it's completely misleading. It's just they use a word in a way that makes fans believe that, it's due to AEW's viewership, when it's like kind of more just spite of, or just like not in spite, but just in part, not even in part. I don't even know what the right word would be. I'm not a fucking this.
I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say this in retort. It is completely misleading. It is as if saying, okay, this headline, let me go back to it. WWE reportedly moving NXT to Tuesdays amid ratings battle with AEW, would be like me saying Impact Zone Wrestling reportedly moving its next show to a Friday night amid ticket battle with WWE. It's putting a war where there isn't one. We all know, like it's not. You need two sides to fight a war, and WWE has said over and over again that's not even what this is about. Like Triple H has said over and over again, and not only that, they get more money for NXT from USA Network than AEW gets for Dynamite, and no one ever points to that either. Like USA is very happy with what they have, and they have a 35-year plus relationship with WWE that's only been interrupted here and there. Like, it's just insane that this is a ratings war, and that's what Miranda was talking about. They're literally trying to imply that it's the ratings war that caused this. That's why I'm saying it is misleading, because they're trying to say it's caused by something that doesn't even exist. That is only a fantasy in the minds of Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, and everybody in AEW and all their fans. But it's not even really a war. Patrick, you said you'd be interested to see what the ratings are going to be. They're going to be 1.1 million people. You know why? Because that's how many people are actually watching on a Wednesday night. And if you add together the ratings for both shows, it doesn't add up to 1.1 million. It adds up to higher than that. Because we all know how channel flipping works. And if you watch both shows in the same quarter hour, you count as two people. And that's what happens. And so
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. And what's really going to be interesting is
they're going to inflate the shit out of that number and make it sound like
that's over.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it hits 1.1 million, and then a month later it's at like 850,000, I then wonder what the people are going to say. You know, then they're going to start touting the same reasons we tout for other shows, because it's called common sense, and they're going to have to rely on common sense when nothing else is left.
Right.
You know what? I think that was a good audible to call. That was a lot more fun.
It's a shameful thing. Lost her head.
Patrick O'Dowd at Wrestling Realist. It's WRESTLNGREALIST on the Twitter. There's no I in wrestling, but there is one in Realist, and there is one in Patrick. There's also not one in Bandwagon Nerds, but what did people miss on Bandwagon Nerds, and what can they expect out of this week's movie review?
This past week we did week 4 of the 90s Project, which was covering the Nerds' top 10 sports movies of the 90s. And our poll is up right now. And I think the Mighty Ducks might actually be winning in kind of a surprise. This coming week, it's our top 10 action adventure flicks of the 90s. The Nerd Review, I will finally be back on the Nerd Review.
Yes.
As I will not be, I don't have to pay for a movie to watch it and review it come this week because I've already paid for it. But we are reviewing Kong Skull Island as Dave and I, and hopefully Ray Cash as well, build up to the debut of Godzilla vs. Kong, which releases on HBO Max in a couple weeks.
Excellent. Very good. Very excited about that. Of course, go follow at Bandwagon Nerds. Listen every Monday on the Chairshot Radio Network to Bandwagon Nerds. Check out thechairshot.com Thursday, Friday, depending on when we get the files and everything else that we have. You will find the nerd review each and every week over there at thechairshot.com. She is on Instagram, but not on Twitter because she is a Twitterless heroine at the hashtag Miranda Morales. What can we expect on the hashtag Miranda show? What can I expect, since I don't know, on the hashtag Miranda show this week?
Well, you may know more than you think because it's going to be a passion project week. We're going to be talking a lot about IZW Impact Zone Wrestling that happened this past Saturday in Tempe, Arizona at Sun Studios. We're really going to be talking, indie wrestling from the perspective of a booker and an interviewer. We'll probably talk about maybe some WWE stuff because shit happened this week as well. But that's really the focus. It's a passion project week on the hashtag Miranda show.
All right. All about it. I don't need to prep for that. I spent months prepping for that. So that's easy. That's easy for me to talk about and something that I love and appreciate. So I'm excited about that. Head on over to ProWrestlingTees.com/thechairshot. Use that promo code MADNESS. Save your 20%. Get your shirt in soft style. That's the only way to go. Of course, go to thechairshot.com. It's sports, entertainment, and sports entertainment. At Chairshot Media on your social media. Follow these shows, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, so many more. Like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. You can find me all over your social media at Chairshot Greg. Hopefully you find something you like in all the things that we do because we work really hard on it for you because this as well is a passion project. On behalf of my two best friends on the entirety of planet Earth, the wrestling realist Patrick O'Dowd and the queen of soft style Miranda Morales, my name is Greg DeMarco, reminding you to always use your head.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
Here comes the big dog.
You're welcome.